Hey folks, it's another very cold day outside, so another great day to be in a heated shop. And this is stage 2, maybe the last stage of my rebuild on my power card. I've got a little bit of work to do on the mast. Right now a little bit of paint is drying, so I thought it'd be time to start looking at this motor. So this motor, to the best of my recollection, was running when it was parked. About, well, the season before I got my easy loader, let's put it that way. We didn't, we had that easy loader for about 1 minute before we realized we were never loading honey any other way again. So, so it hasn't been used since. Well, I don't know, maybe someone borrowed it, I can't remember. But so the best of my recollection, the motor was running when it was left, but it hasn't been run since. Still turns, so I think, but we can expect the gas to maybe be a little bit funky in the carb. So I think I'm gonna drain the fuel and the oil out of it and then see if it fires up. So give me a few minutes on that. I should change the plug too, probably, if I can find one that matches. And then we'll see if she goes. Okay, I've got most of the prep and welding repair done on this thing. So this is the chassis as it sits. Of course, it's not upright at the moment, but I wanted to show you the latch mechanism for the forks before I started making things painted and pretty and covering everything up. This is a good time to look. So just backing out a second, of course, it's laying horizontally, face down, just to give you an orientation. The axle goes right across here. So there's big wheels right there. This is kind of a foot pedal that triggers the latching and unlatching of the forks. The forks stick out and would of course go underneath a single stack pallet. And those forks, like a typical hive cart, the mast and the forks are rigid to each other and just usually quite square. And that means that once you get off a hard floor with a heavy cart, it's very hard to push the forks underneath the stack, especially. And this thing probably weighs, 50, 60 pounds. So it's kind of cumbersome. So the solution to that is to have these forks on a hinge. You can see that there's a pin here that goes all the way through, and then that the forks are welded and square to this brace, and that latches onto this catch at 2 places. So if I activate the foot switch, the forks can incline slightly, and that means that they would tip forward, and then you can power the engine and run forward underneath the stack, and then knock the cart forward and it would latch. So, and if you really want to drop the forks, you can go right out. So you can see now, looking at the side, there's quite an angle there. And so you can get under a stack even if there's a bit of a molehill or something in the way. And then the reverse, to get out from under a stack, you would hit the switch again, tilt the cart back till the wheels hit the ground, and then reverse the motor and back out. So that's the thing. I'll just give you a close up on that. This is the 2 stages. There's a notch and a catch, and then a notch and a catch at the front. I've got a bungee cord on here just to provide the spring. If I was to build this thing again, I'd have some sort of radius spring on here. I always had a coil spring, a screen door spring or something, and none of them lasted very long, and we'd almost invariably always end up stealing a bungee cord from the tarp equipment on the truck, and that would work just as well. It really should have a radius style spring. So that's the catch mechanism, and that's actually, working that out was the most important part of the whole design. Without that, having a heavy powered cart would not be practical in the field, because you'd never get the machine, it would be a ton of work to get the 80-pound cart slid under a stack of honey. Okay, with that, I'm going to get the brush out and clean it up, paint it, and then start installing stuff. Okay, so once we got into this thing a little bit, we realized that 2007 or 2017, I guess, Phil was smart enough to drain the fuel before he stored the machine. So today I'm pretty happy with myself. And so put fresh oil in it, and we got the spark plug pulled and cleaned a little bit. It looks in good condition, so we're just going to check. Doing this without the machine held down is a little trickier. Oh, there's plenty of spark there. Fantastic. Okay. A little bit of choke. Well, this pull rope is going to need to be swapped out. I don't know. Maybe it's too simple. Not so much as a twerk. I don't have any ether here, but we'll pour a cap full of fuel down its snout and see what it does. There. Oh-ho! Okay, well, I think that tells us what we need to know. When you give it fuel, it'll snort. When it doesn't have it, it won't. So there's something wrong with the fuel mixture situation. Shouldn't take too long to figure that out, but I got to go push some snow. Wind's finally died down enough. So that's probably it for today on this project. I'll keep adding to the video as we make progress.